Welcome back to my channel, US Rare Coins News, Top 1. Today we are talking about a coin that looks ordinary in your pocket, but in the right hands, a 1964 Jefferson nickel can be worth hundreds of dollars. That's right. A 5-cent piece from over half a century ago, hiding potential treasure in plain sight. And the crazy part? Millions of these coins are still sitting in jars, drawers, and old coin rolls across the country. So why is the 1964 Jefferson nickel so interesting? Are there rare errors that collectors chase? Is there a version that could be worth a small fortune at auction? Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and how to spot the versions that matter most. Let's start with the basics. Pick up a 1964 Jefferson nickel and look closely at the front. You'll see Thomas Jefferson's portrait facing left. Above his head, "In God We Trust." To the left, "Liberty." And on the right, the date 1964. That's it. Simple. Classic. But subtle details make all the difference. Flip it over and you'll see Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate. Across the top, United States of America. At the bottom, 5 cents. The level of detail in Monticello's columns, windows, and roof lines can tell you a lot about the coin's condition and grade. Now here's the key. In 1964, the U.S. Mint struck over 500 million nickels in Philadelphia and over 130 million in Denver. That's a huge number. Most coins are worth face value, and most have been in circulation for decades. So what makes some of them special? Condition and errors. Let's talk condition first. A 1964 Jefferson nickel in circulated condition is worth just 5 cents. But uncirculated examples, still shiny with sharp details, can reach $1 to $5 for average mint state grades. High-grade coins, like MS-65, can sell for $20 to $50. And truly pristine coins in MS-66 or higher have been known to fetch a few $100s at auction. Now the fun part, errors. Some 1964 nickels show doubling on the date or the lettering. This is called a double die. Check the date and the word Liberty. If the numbers or letters appear thickened or shadowed, that's the clue. Strong double dies from this year can bring premiums of $50 to $200 depending on condition. Then there are off-center strikes. If part of the design is missing because the coin wasn't properly aligned during striking, it can be a real collector favorite. Even small off-center strikes can sell for $20 to $75, while dramatic examples can go higher. Another type of error is a clipped planchet. That's when a coin's edge looks like a small slice has been taken out, usually from a misfeed in the minting process. These can be highly collectible if the clipping is large or dramatic, and here's a cool fact. 1964 was the last year Jefferson nickels were struck with 75% copper and 25% nickel composition before some experimental changes in later years. That means the coin has a slightly different look and feel compared to modern nickels, which is another reason collectors love them. Picture this. You're flipping through a roll of nickels from an old jar. Most look dull, worn, ordinary. Then you see one with sharp details, clean surfaces, maybe a bright luster you didn't expect. You zoom in, inspect the date, check for mint marks or tiny doubled letters. Suddenly, that ordinary nickel could be something special. So what's the real market value today? Circulated 1964 nickels are worth 5 cents. Uncirculated examples usually sell for $1 to $5. High-grade mint state coins can go for $20 to $50, with top MS-66 examples reaching several $100s. Error coins, depending on type and severity, can range from $50 to over $200. Not every 1964 Jefferson nickel is rare, but the right one can turn pocket change into a collector's item. Now I want to ask you, do you own any 1964 nickels? Have you ever checked them closely under a magnifying glass? And if you could add one rare Jefferson nickel to your collection, which year would you choose? Drop your answers in the comments, I read them all. To wrap this up, the 1964 Jefferson nickel is more than just 5 cents. Condition, color, double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, these small details can make a coin valuable and exciting to find. Top 2, today we are talking about a coin that most people toss in a jar without a second thought, but in the right condition, a 1973 Jefferson nickel can actually be worth hundreds of dollars. That's right, 5 cents, but potentially a collector's treasure. And the wild part? You might already have one sitting in your wallet or old coin rolls at home. So why is the 1973 Jefferson nickel interesting? Are there rare errors you could stumble upon? And what makes certain coins sell for hundreds of dollars while others are just pocket change? Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, and how to spot the versions collectors are hunting for. Let's start by looking closely at the coin. Hold up a 1973 Jefferson nickel. On the front, you'll see Thomas Jefferson's portrait facing left. Above him, "In God We Trust." To the left, Liberty, and to the right, the date, 1973. Under the date, there might be a small D, indicating it was minted at Denver. No mint mark. That's Philadelphia. These little letters can make a huge difference for collectors. Flip it over and you'll see Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate. Across the top, United States of America, at the bottom, 5 cents. The detail in Monticello, the columns, windows, and roof lines, is sharp on uncirculated coins and can help you gauge condition. Zoom in on this in a close-up B-roll shot. The tiny statue of Jefferson inside the building is something most people don't notice. Now here's the reality. In 1973, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 293 million nickels, and Denver struck over 186 million. That's a massive number. Most circulated nickels are worth just 5 cents. But certain coins, because of condition or errors, can be worth much more. Let's talk condition first. A coin that has never been in circulation, still showing that bright original mint luster, is called mint state. In MS-63 to MS-65 grades, these coins can sell for around $1 to $10. But if you find a top-grade coin, like MS-66 or MS-67, prices can rise to $50, even $100 in some cases. The key is sharp details, smooth surfaces, and that original copper-nickel sheen. Now the part that really excites collectors: errors. Some 1973 nickels show double dies. Look closely at the date and the word Liberty. If the numbers or letters appear thickened or have a slight shadow, that could indicate a double die. Strong examples can sell for $50 to $200 depending on the coin's condition and certification. Other collectors look for off-center strikes. This happens when the blank wasn't properly centered in the press. If part of the design is missing but the date remains visible, it could sell for $20 to $100 depending on how far off-center the strike is. Then there are clipped planchets. That's when a small piece of the coin is missing because of a minting misfeed. It looks like someone took a bite out of it. These can also be highly collectible if the clipping is large or noticeable. Here's a fun fact: 1,973 nickels are still made mostly of 75% copper and 25% nickel, the same as the post-war Jefferson nickels. That gives the coin a slightly different feel than modern nickels and adds to its appeal for collectors. Picture this. You're digging through a jar of old nickels. Most look dull and ordinary. Then one catches your eye: clean, shiny, strong details. You pull out a magnifying glass, inspect the date, check the mint mark, and maybe even spot slight doubling. That ordinary 5-cent coin just became a hidden treasure. So what's the real market value today? A circulated 1973 Jefferson nickel is worth 5 cents. Uncirculated examples usually sell for $1 to $10. High-grade mint state coins can range from $20 to $100, and top MS-66 or MS-67 examples have been auctioned for even more. Error coins, like double dies, off-center strikes, or clipped planchets, can fetch anywhere from $50 to over $200 depending on condition and demand. Not every 1973 nickel is rare, but the right one can be a serious find. Now I want to ask you, have you ever checked your 1973 nickels closely? Do you save shiny coins when you find them? And if you could add one rare Jefferson nickel to your collection, which year would you choose? Drop your answers in the comments. I read them all. To wrap this up, the 1973 Jefferson nickel is more than just 5 cents. Condition, mint mark, double dies, off-center strikes, and clipped planchets can all make a difference. Bright uncirculated coins and rare errors turn ordinary pocket change into a collectible coin worth far more than face value. Top 3. Today we are talking about a coin you probably pass by every day without a second thought, but a 1974 Jefferson nickel could actually be worth far more than 5 cents. That's right, this ordinary-looking 5-cent piece from over 40 years ago can turn into a small treasure if you know what to look for. And the crazy part? You might already have one hiding in your pocket or in an old coin jar.so. What makes the 1974 Jefferson nickel so interesting? Are there rare errors or special varieties collectors hunt for? How much are people actually paying for these coins at auction today? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to check for, and which versions can really make a difference. First, let's take a closer look at the coin itself. Hold up a 1974 Jefferson nickel. On the front, you see Thomas Jefferson facing left. Above him, "In God We Trust." To the left, Liberty. On the right, the date, 1974. And just under the date, a small D, if it was minted in Denver. No mint mark? Then it's Philadelphia. Those tiny letters can completely change the coin's value. Flip it over and you'll see Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia home. Across the top, United States of America. At the bottom, 5 cents. Look closely at the columns, windows, and roof lines. On uncirculated coins, the detail is sharp and crisp. Zoom in with a camera or macro lens for a B-roll close-up. It's actually kind of amazing how much craftsmanship went into this small coin. Here's the reality. In 1974, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 700 million nickels, and Denver struck over 330 million. That's an enormous number. So most circulated 1974 nickels are worth face value, just 5 cents, but there's a catch. Condition and errors can turn one of these ordinary nickels into something much more valuable. Let's talk about condition first. If you find a 1974 Jefferson nickel that's never been in circulation, still shiny with that original copper nickel luster, it's called a mint state coin. In MS-63 to MS-65 grades, these coins can sell for $1 to $10. High-grade examples like MS-66 or MS-67 have sold for $50 to over $100, depending on eye appeal and certification. Now the exciting part, errors. Some 1974 nickels show double dies. That means parts of the date or the word Liberty appear doubled. Grab a magnifying glass or use your camera's zoom and check closely. If you see clear doubling, not just blur, that coin could bring a premium. Strong double die examples can sell from $50 to over $200 depending on condition. Off-center strikes are another error to look for. If part of the design is missing because the blank wasn't properly aligned in the press, even small off-center strikes can be collectible. Dramatic examples often sell for $50 or more. Then there's the clipped planchet, when a portion of the coin is missing due to a minting mishap. It can look like someone took a bite out of the edge. Clipped planchets from 1974 are collectible, and dramatic examples can sell for anywhere from $20 to $100. A fun fact about 1974 nickels is that they were struck in the standard 75% copper and 25% nickel composition. That gives them a slightly warmer tone compared to modern nickels, and combined with strong luster, it makes them more attractive to collectors. Picture this. You're sorting through a jar of old coins. Most look dull, worn, ordinary. Then one catches your eye. Sharp details, bright surfaces, maybe a slight doubling in the date. Suddenly, that ordinary nickel just became a hidden treasure. So what's the real market value today? A circulated 1974 Jefferson nickel is worth 5 cents. Uncirculated coins usually sell for $1 to $10. High-grade mint state coins can go from $20 to $100, with top MS-66 or MS-67 examples reaching higher. Error coins, like double dies, off-center strikes, or clipped planchets, can fetch anywhere from $50 to over $200 depending on severity and condition. Not every 1974 nickel is rare, but the right one can absolutely be worth hunting for. Now I want to ask you, have you ever checked your 1974 nickels closely? Do you keep shiny ones when you find them? And if you could add one rare Jefferson nickel to your collection, which year would you choose? Drop your answers in the comments, I read them all. To wrap this up, the 1974 Jefferson nickel is more than just 5 cents. Condition, mint mark, double dies, off-center strikes, and clipped planchets can turn a common coin into a collectible piece. Top 4. Today we are talking about a coin that looks ordinary at first glance, but a 1975 Jefferson nickel can actually be worth a surprising amount to the right collector. That's right, a 5-cent piece from almost 50 years ago might be sitting in your pocket or tucked away in a jar, quietly waiting to become something valuable. So why is the 1975 Jefferson nickel interesting? Are there rare errors or special features that make some worth hundreds of dollars? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and how to spot the coins collectors are chasing. Let's start with the basics. Pick up a 1975 Jefferson nickel and look closely at the front. You'll see Thomas Jefferson facing left, "In God We Trust," above his head, "Liberty," to the left, and the date, 1975, on the right. Under the date, you might see a tiny D, if it was minted in Denver. No mint mark. That's Philadelphia. That small letter alone can make a huge difference in value. Flip it over and Monticello appears, Jefferson's Virginia estate. Across the top is United States of America, and at the bottom, 5 cents. The detail in the columns, windows, and roof lines is something collectors pay attention to. On uncirculated coins, these features are sharp and crisp. For your bureau, get a close-up of the roof, the door, even that tiny Jefferson statue inside. It's amazing how much detail is packed into this little coin. Now here's the thing. In 1975, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 800 million nickels, and Denver struck over 360 million. That's a massive number. Most circulated nickels are still worth just 5 cents, but some coins stand out because of condition and errors. Let's start with condition. A 1975 Jefferson nickel that's never been in circulation, showing that original mint luster, is called a mint state coin. MS-63 to MS-65 grades usually sell for $1 to $10. High-grade examples like MS-66 or MS-67 can fetch $50 or more, depending on eye appeal and certification. The key is sharp details, smooth surfaces, and bright, original luster. Now the exciting part, errors. Some 1975 nickels show double dies. Look closely at the date or the word Liberty. If the numbers or letters appear slightly doubled, that could indicate a double die coin. These can sell for $50 to over $200 depending on condition and rarity. Off-center strikes are another collectible feature. When the coin wasn't properly aligned during striking, part of the design is missing. Small off-center examples sell for $20 to $75, while dramatic examples can fetch more. Clipped planchets are also something to look for. That's when a small piece of the coin is missing due to a minting error. Some 1975 nickels have this feature, and it can make them highly collectible, sometimes reaching $50 or more depending on the size and shape of the clip. A fun fact. 1,975 nickels are made of 75% copper and 25% nickel. That gives the coin a slightly different tone than modern nickels, which collectors love. Combine that with strong luster and sharp details, and you've got a coin that's more than just a piece of change. Picture this. You're digging through an old jar of nickels. Most look worn and ordinary. Then one shines, details crisp, maybe even a hint of doubling in the date. Suddenly, that 5-cent coin just became a small treasure. So what's the real market value today? Circulated 1975 nickels are worth 5 cents. Uncirculated examples usually sell for $1 to $10. High-grade mint state coins can fetch $20 to $50, with top MS-66 or MS-67 examples going higher. Error coins, like double dies, off-center strikes, or clipped planchets, can range from $50 to over $200 depending on condition and rarity. Not every 1975 nickel is rare, but the right one can absolutely be a hidden gem. Now I want to ask you, Have you ever checked your 1975 nickels under a magnifying glass? Do you keep shiny coins when you find them? And if you could add one rare Jefferson nickel to your collection, which year would it be? Drop your answers in the comments, I read them all. To wrap this up, the 1975 Jefferson nickel is more than just 5 cents. Mint mark, condition, double dies, off-center strikes, and clipped planchets can turn an ordinary coin into a collectible. Top 5. Today we are diving into a coin that looks ordinary but hides a little surprise, a 1976 Jefferson nickel. Most people toss these into jars without a second thought, but if you know what to look for, this 5-cent piece can actually be worth a lot more than its face value. And here's the kicker, you might already have one sitting at home. So what makes the 1976 Jefferson nickel special? Are there rare errors or unique varieties? Could it be one of those coins collectors are hunting for at auctions? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to check for, and which coins could turn a simple nickel into a collectible treasure. Let's take a closer look. Hold up a 1976 Jefferson nickel. On the front, Thomas Jefferson faces left. Above him, "In God We Trust." To the left, Liberty, and to the right, the date, 1976. You might notice a small D under the date, that's Denver. No mint mark. Then it's Philadelphia. That tiny letter can make a huge difference when it comes to collector value. Flip the coin over and Monticello appears, Jefferson's Virginia estate. Across the top, United States of America, and at the bottom, 5 cents. Look closely at the columns, windows, and roof lines. On uncirculated coins, the details are sharp, and with a macro close-up, you can even see the tiny Jefferson statue inside. For B-roll shots, highlight these details. It's more impressive than most people realize. Now here's the reality. In 1976, the Philadelphia Mint struck over 500 million nickels, and Denver produced around 300 million. That's a huge number. Most circulated coins are worth just 5 cents, but condition and errors can make a big difference. First, condition. A 1976 Jefferson nickel that's never been circulated, still showing that original mint luster, is called a mint state coin. Coins graded MS-63 to MS-65 usually sell for $1 to $10. High-grade examples like MS-66 or MS-67 can fetch $50 or more. Sharp details, smooth surfaces, and bright, original luster make these coins stand out. Now the part collectors get excited about. Errors. Some 1976 nickels show double dies. Check the date or the word Liberty closely. If the numbers or letters appear slightly doubled, you might have a double die coin. Strong examples can sell anywhere from $50 to over $200 depending on condition. Off-center strikes are another collectible feature. When the coin wasn't perfectly aligned in the press, part of the design is missing. Small off-center examples sell for $20 to $75, while dramatic off-center coins can fetch more. Clipped planchets are also something to watch for. That's when a small piece of the coin is missing due to a minting mishap. Some 1976 nickels have this feature, and if the clip is noticeable, collectors pay a premium, sometimes $50 or more. A fun fact, 1,976 nickels are made of 75% copper and 25% nickel. That gives the coin a slightly warmer tone compared to modern nickels, and combined with strong luster, makes them visually appealing for collectors. Picture this, you're sorting through a jar of old nickels. Most look worn, dull, ordinary. Then one shines. Details are sharp. Maybe there's a hint of doubling on the date. That ordinary nickel suddenly becomes a hidden treasure. So what's the real market value today? A circulated 1976 Jefferson nickel is worth 5 cents. Uncirculated coins sell for $1 to $10. High-grade mint state coins can go from $20 to $50, with top MS-66 or MS-67 examples reaching higher. Error coins, like double dies, off-center strikes, or clipped planchets, can fetch $50 to over $200 depending on rarity and condition. Not every 1976 nickel is rare, but the right one can definitely be a collector's gem. Now I want to ask you, Have you ever closely examined your 1976 nickels? Do you save the shiny ones when you find them? And if you could add one rare Jefferson nickel to your collection, which year would you choose? Share your thoughts in the comments. I read them all. To wrap it up, the 1976 Jefferson nickel is more than just 5 cents. Mint mark, condition, double dies, off-center strikes, and clipped planchets can turn an ordinary coin into a collectible treasure. If you enjoyed this video and want to keep discovering hidden treasures in everyday coins, make sure to like, subscribe, and check out the next coin breakdown on your screen. That next valuable coin might already be sitting in your pocket, waiting for you to notice it.